I'm not sure. Can I go underneath it? Oh, hey everyone. Welcome back to the channel Untitled Projects. Today, what are we going to do? We're going to go to my home city, or my hometown. Actually, that isn't how you say it. You say my hometown. No. My hometown. No, I can't do it. Okay. It's called London City, or London Town. And that's where I've grown up. That's where I was born, apart from moving all over the place for a little bit. So I'm just going to fly around and maybe pop up some sweet knowledge and send it your way. That is the plan. And it's a pretty simple plan. Also, I think there's some interesting structures to fly up and down and under and around. And in general, I've only flown over London a couple of times right at the beginning when I downloaded this, which only took me about 8 hours. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do a standard London flyby. And hopefully I can give you a little bit of local knowledge, because I've been here for a long time. I've lived all over the place, so I know London like the back of my hand. So the best place to start, I think, is not Heathrow, too far away. Not Gatwick, too far away. No, sorry, Gatwick, not Red Hill. We're going to start, not Stapleford. I've lost it. Oh, London City. London City. So I've actually, so that's departure. Oh, also got some new liveries or liveries for all of these planes, which I downloaded a couple of days ago. And it makes everything look a lot sexier. So I'm going to go for the extra today because it's going to be a lot easier to fly under bridges and that. So I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go Red Bull. And let's see how it looks. So weather doesn't look great, so I'm going to go and change that to something a bit more sexy. This is a standard type of weather for London in the winter, that is, which is when I'm making this video. Overcast, grey, can't really see a whole lot. A lot of people think it rains more here than any other city, but that ain't right, because it rains way more in Manchester. Another great city. Also rains more in Paris, probably rains more in New York. London doesn't get a whole lot of rain. Everyone thinks it rains. It don't. It drizzles. But that's it. Okay. Sometimes it rains. It's actually pretty dry. Okay. So what's the plan? Yep, we're just going to fly through London, pick out some interesting little things, you know, the Shard, the Gherkin, Tower Bridge, all of that. I know it pretty well. I've lived all over east, west, never lived south, because in London, if you live south of the river, you can only live north of the river. No, if you live north of the river, you can't live south of the river. There's like a north-south weird thing going on. So everyone's like, oh, whatever. That's it. Right, so I've got the extra, like I was saying. Pretty nice plane. I was flying this the other day. Check out that livery. And again, some weird passenger in the back who I have no idea who that is. So hopefully they're going to have fun. But yeah, great plane. Really skittish, as you would suspect. Anyway, let's get going. Let's get that. Oh, let's get that mixture up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, parking brake off. So, City Airport, oh, let's get this straight, is quite a hairy airport to land at. Oh, we're taking off already. Very nice. Simply because you have to go through the city as you approach. And you come over all this water initially when you're coming in. You think, what? Are we landing in an airport or are we going to crash? So it can be pretty sketchy, but it's cool. You come down really close to these buildings usually, especially if you're coming this way, which I think is the only way actually. And you're normally in, you know, twin engine aircraft that are relatively small. It's a very short runway, so there's not much you can do on it. I mean, look at that. There's not much to it, let's be fair. In fact, there's a big old aircraft there, which I think is probably too big for that airport, but let's just change the weather quickly. Let's go into a little circuit. Have we got an autopilot? Yes, we do. Right. Just going to fly around in a circle for a bit. Let's get something nice. Clear skies, scattered. Yeah, that looks good. Good light. I don't want to take it down too much. And time of day. Ooh. Yeah, let's go early morning when people are coming to work. This is rush hour for London, and if you've ever commuted in London, it's hardcore. Not as bad as Japan, I wouldn't think. Okay, so first bit of sightseeing. Let's slow this down. Let's slow it down. Is O2 Arena. Whoop. There it is. Look at that. I love the way this side slips. It's awesome, isn't it? So O2 Arena went up ages ago. It was in a James Bond movie. All that kind of stuff. All the locals were busy saying, "Is it going to be awesome?" It didn't. It wasn't awesome for ages. They put a science museum in there or something. So yeah, that's it. I mean, it's a long way away. It's actually quite hard to get to if you live anywhere in London, anywhere west at least, because if anyone's ever taken the tube on London, in London, sorry, it can take hours and hours to get anywhere, even that's a matter of miles away. So apart from having the oldest tube system in the world, it's pretty good. Canary Wharf, and this is our financial district. All sorts of mental buildings along here. I think some of them. There's a JP Morgan. There is. Oh, they put the logos on. HSBC. Citibank. Pretty cool. Whatever that is down there. Barclays. Or Barclays. And then nice. So yeah, the city's relatively new. It's probably only about 25, 30 years old. But they've been continuing to build some pretty amazing buildings there. They probably run out of space now, but if you do go there, it's pretty amazing. I've only ever been there a couple of times, even though I've been in London for the last 15 years working. I've never had the need to go there, so yeah, it's pretty amazing. If you get the chance, head over. There's still a building yard over there. Didn't know that. Anywho, so the famous bend in the River Thames, just up here, which if you've ever watched EastEnders, that's what everyone sees straight away. I wonder what building this is, actually. Very shiny. Yeah, you don't need to watch EastEnders. You can if you want. It's not my cup of tea. Nah, damn, bruv. Right, so this is the famous bend coming around here. I think we're probably getting close to Greenwich, possibly. And coming into the really built-up area of London, which is just about here, where we've got all our famous buildings. Well, some of them, like the Gherkin, which is always a bit of a weird name, but you'll notice there's a theme in London about naming buildings after what they look like, or the street that they're on, which I guess, is a standard thing. And there's Tower Bridge on the left there. We're going to try and fly through that in a second. There's HMS whatever, can't even remember what that is, but it's a battleship. You can go on it. I've never been on it, although a drunk friend of mine got on there by accident once. So, not by accident on purpose. I won't mention his name, Ali. There's the Gherkin in all its fine splendour. If you don't like gherkins, it probably leaves a bit of sour taste in your mouth. I personally like gherkins. I've grown into them. Didn't used to, but they're just pickled cucumbers. I can go wrong. There's the walkie-talkie on the left. So, funny little story about the walkie-talkie. When it was first built, it was called something entirely different, but everyone called it the walkie-talkie because clearly it just looks like a walkie-talkie. But at certain times of the day, it would reflect the light like a magnifying glass. Ooh, look at that. Look at that beautiful sun coming up. Sunrise, not sun coming up, sunrise. It would reflect the light in a very particular way. Let's side slip this round. And concentrate it on the streets, and an absolutely truthful fact, it would melt some cars. No jokes. Pretty amazing. Anyway, so Tower Bridge. This is probably one of the most famous places, Tower Bridge, with the old London, Tower of London, come on, remember, there we go. Which is famous for all sorts of executions and disappearances, and apparently haunted by lots of ghosts. Generally very, very rich people that just really pissed off the Queen and ended up in the tower. That was the main use. Or just someone that you wanted to overthrow. Pretty good use there, I would say. Hasn't been there for very long. Well, no, sorry, it has been there for a long time. yeah, what can I say? It's been there since 1066. So, long time. So, Tower Bridge. I'm going to come round and we're going to go underneath it. In fact, we might even try and go underneath all of these bridges. But let's see. I remember last time I flew across London, in the early days of Microsoft Simulator, there were no bridges. But now that they've done this update, you've got to pay for it, by the way. It's working out pretty nice. So let's slow this down. We're going to try and get right underneath this. Or actually no, we're just going to go between. We're just going to go between. Because I think that probably makes sense. So actually quite a few planes have flown underneath this in the past. Some rogue planes and some planes that have... Well, let's get some speed and do a stall. Right through the middle. And up. And spin. Yeah. Alright. Okay, there's a shard on the left. So yeah, a Hawker Hunter flew underneath there as a protest that the RAF wasn't going to celebrate its 50th birthday party, because apparently people were pissed off with the RAF for some reason. It was a Hawker Hunter in 1973. Not 1973, 1968. The second one was 1973, which was a really pissed off stockbroker who got in his, what was it called? A beagle pup? Oh, I don't know. Oh, a beagle pup. Yeah. Beagle pup. He was annoyed. Maybe he'd lost loads of money. Maybe he'd been pissed off by someone at work. I mean, stockbrokers are known to be pretty mental in London because they work very long hours and all that kind of stuff. And he flew his beagle pup underneath, buzzed a load of buildings, probably his office. Maybe he'd been fired. Who knows? Flew up to the Lake District and crashed into the side of a hill. I mean, if you're going to go, poor guy was obviously suffering from some kind of mental breakdown, but tragedy really, but you know. Yeah, lots of other things have happened. A London bus had to jump over the middle when some guy had fallen asleep who was supposed to be making sure there were no cars on the bridge before it went up, and it had to jump the middle, only 3 feet or so, but he was a hero. Right, are we going to be able to get underneath? Oh, we actually did it. That one I don't think is going to happen. Oh, so they have put most of the bridges on here. Right, so here's the shard. This is really new, the shard. I've been watching this go up over the years, and it's been a bit of a buzz. Let's stall over the top of it. Let's not crash. Oh, actually, are we going to crash? Oh, oh. So this extra, you can put it into a nosedive, but it's pretty hard to pull out without stalling, so skittish. Next place. Where are we going to go now? We're going to go further down. And let's see. So I used to live around where my nose is pointing now, just at the edge of the city there, which is cheaper than you think. And you can literally walk into the city, so it's pretty awesome. Ahead of us we have, what is that? The number 1 Blackfriars, right off the nose there. That shiny diamond in the distance. That's actually a really nice looking building, because it looks like an aerofoil, and I think it is actually designed around an aerofoil. And personally, I love it's one of my favourite buildings in the UK, because when you look at it, it's looking lush as anything. Not particularly high, but you know, we're not known for our high buildings here. That's right by Tottenham Court Road and Oxford Circus. Not far from there, I don't think. Pretty easy. If you've ever been to London, that's your shopping district. I mean, Oxford Circus, Regent Street, Oxford Street, all of that, Tottenham Court Road, any shop you want, they've got their HQ there. Pretty amazing. And obviously London Eye, which went up in my lifetime. Obviously, it's not that old, but pretty cool. Lots of firework displays there. Don't crash into it. St Paul's Hospital, not St Paul's Hospital. Oh, Waterloo. We've flown over Waterloo, just there. That's where I used to commute into every day before we got locked down. Pretty busy place. Houses of Parliament. Everything's crammed around here. Houses of Parliament and Big Ben. Let's see how well they're rendered. yeah, it looks pretty good, pretty nice. You can't crash into these buildings, by the way, because they don't have any. I mean, you just can't impact them; they're just completely see-through. So I did fly into the shard before by accident. And there's behind us is Trafalgar Square. Some nice colourful buildings there on the left. See if we can go and find St Paul's, because we lost that. What I was saying before, by the London Eye, is St Thomas's Hospital, which is where, incidentally, I was born. Quite a long time ago. But all good. Right, so where is St Paul's? This might be harder to find than I thought. It's kind of between... Well, I think that's the British Library right off the nose there, which is near Euston Station. In fact, that probably is Euston Station, connected to the British Library. God, what if I can't find St Paul's there? Oh, is that it? No, that's something else. That's probably some... I don't know what that building is. I'll find out and I'll put a tracker on it. So, where is St Paulio's? Might have to come back to St Paul's. Lost it. It's behind me, basically. Nice little park here. I actually don't know what park this is, but I'm sure it is pretty obvious. It's not maybe it's Regent's, I'm not sure. Oh no. It is, of course, Buckingham Palace. Oh yeah, and St James's Park. That's where the Queen lives, sometimes. That or Balmoral, but it's a pretty nice house. Actually owned by some other seriously rich dude back in the day. A long time ago now. Who just had it as his, like, second home. Obviously it's been extended a bit since then, but pretty nice residence to have in the centre. Going over Trafalgar again. Or, no, was that? Yeah, that is Trafalgar. Not Leicester Square? Right. So going further along the Thames, pretty much all the cool stuff's along the Thames. Below me, Westminster. All the Houses of Parliament. There's a slightly sunken bridge. And what else is along here? What can I say? There should be a couple more things I can spot. Oh, of course, behind us, I think, was maybe MI6. I think it was not MI6, MI5. And here's the big old factory being converted at the moment, which, how can I forget what this is called? Battersea Power Station. Look, you can see it's all a complete... Oh, that's pretty interesting, actually. All a complete building site at the moment. Apparently it's going to be pretty amazing. Apartments, shopping blocks, offices, the whole lot. They didn't take down the chimneys, obviously, because it's such an amazing landmark. So yeah, pretty awesome. I think this probably goes into Paddington. Yeah, it definitely does go into Paddington, because you always go past Battersea Power Station. I don't know if that's Paddington there, possibly. Looks like it could be. So, all these buildings are amazingly well done, aren't they? I mean, the detail is really quite good. There's Buckingham Palace again. I'm going to go back and see if I can find St Paul's. I'm going to get a bit of height up here. So there's the British Library off my left wing. Quite a long way away, actually. God, this actually is a really well-modelled city, I have to say. The bridges obviously weren't existing before, which was a bit of a shame, but they look really good now. So St Paul's should be around here. So there it is. I found it. Oh, look at that swimming pool on top of that building. Look at that. Pretty amazing. During the Blitz, it only got hit twice by bombs. Everything else got destroyed around it. Pretty much levelled. I mean, London was really destroyed during the Second World War. Apart from the West End, which kind of survived mostly intact, but the East End was totally screwed, basically. But St. Paul's got hit by two bombs that went through into the crypts and exploded inside, but didn't damage the outside. So pretty amazing. There's a really famous picture. Maybe I'll pop it up of it in the smoke, and everything else is just obliterated around the outside. So maybe Jesus does exist. I'm not sure. I'm agnostic, I think. That's what agnostic means. It means you don't know, you're not sure. Right, so what are we going to do now? We can continue flying down. I think that's pretty much all the really good stuff. Just coming off my left wing here, that black and white striped building is St. Thomas's Hospital, my birthplace. Pretty awesome. Right opposite the Houses of Parliament. So maybe I should have been a politician. I'm not particularly good at arguing, so probably not great. Oh, why is the river so high there? Maybe it's flooded. Right, let's get this. Oh, gotta watch out for my mixture. It's actually quite a hard plane to fly. Well, see, look how jittery that is. But I mean, you can do things like that where you're just sliding it along. I mean, if that isn't cool, I don't know what is. Nice. Coming along, is that embankment? Possibly. And this, maybe this is Chelsea Bridge actually. I'm not sure. Can I go underneath it? Oh my goodness, I actually made it. Oh, that was sketchy. Right, so I might fly to where I live. I'll get back to you in a minute because there's not much down this bit. Much further down the river now, going past areas like Richmond and all of that stuff, down to Kingston. I just live next to Kingston, and we're going to see how realistic it is down here. And I haven't actually found my house yet. I haven't even looked for it, but as you can see, it really does stop rendering well, they've stopped modelling it quite far out, as you would suspect. I mean, this is quite a long way out of London now, so still is in London, just. Yeah, still looking okay, if I'm to be honest. The bridges are here, which is nice, because they weren't before. There are a couple of weird sunken bridges, but I think that's probably something that's all over. So you can see on the left there, that's the centre of London. So the river really snakes all over the place, turning back on itself, doing all sorts of things. So let's get a little bit of height. Have a look. This plane climbs like a absolute piece of awesomeness, and also you can stall it like this. Oh, come on. Let's just tip it over on a wing. Oh, yeah. Nice. So I'm not using my yoke today because flying this plane with a yoke is really, really hard, and I would not suggest it. I definitely suggest using your joystick. So I've got my X52 Professional Hoitus Logitech today, which is really nice. Got it off eBay for nearly next to nothing, including my my yoke as well, which is also Logitech. So yeah, very nice indeed. Right, so I think it's looking a bit more built up. You see there's a lot more parks around here, and we're much further down the river now. I hope I haven't gone past. So there's the city on the left. Looking pretty nice. So maybe we've already gone past Richmond. I think we probably have. So there's obviously a lot more space over here. There's lots of schools, lots of sports grounds, lots of parks, all sorts of fun things for a great day out. So this here is coming into... Is this Kingston? Really do live a long way away. Oh, what am I saying? Here she is. Oh, let's not crash. Whoa. Whew. So that was Kingston behind me. And I should live just over here somewhere. There's my local park on the left. The railway. Oh, I can see my house and I'm not going to tell you where I live. Okay, there we go. That's it. And I think that's probably all you need to know about London. There's a lot of cool things here. All right. See you for the next episode, which I have no idea what it is yet, but it's guaranteed to be amazing. As always, let's do a nice little quick landing somewhere. We've got no flaps on this plane, so that's not going to work. But we might have spoilers. No, no spoilers. Okay, I'm going to land here. It's going to be a bit of a forced landing. Oh, as always, my landings have several bumps. We're going to go into those trees, aren't we? Oh. That was a lot of fun. I tried. Okay. See you next time. Bye.